So David, can you talk a little bit about just first what your relationship was like with church before you attended the collective and kind of how you found out about it?
Sure, yeah. So I grew up in the Deep South in a rural area, very conservative Southern Baptist church. Many of you can probably relate. And we weren't like the most churchy people in my family, but we went pretty regularly. We were pretty involved. I went to a lot of different things that the church did. I was involved with Awana, if you know what that is, Vacation Bible School. We had something called Bible drills in Mississippi, which is like you memorize a bunch of verses and you have to like speed find them in the Bible, and it's like a whole competition. I tell people about that now and they're like, that is wild. I don't know if that's common in Georgia or other places, but anyway, but I was champion several years in a row, not gonna lie.
Wow.
Or I got superior, so yeah, I was pretty good at it. But then, I went off to college. I was still involved in a lot of Christian groups. I was in a Christian fraternity in college. I really kind of bought into that evangelical version of Christianity. But slowly I was realizing that things were not adding up for me. Like I came to terms slowly, very slowly, with the fact that I was gay. I tried to make myself into a straight person for a long time, and it just did not work out. I prayed over and over to have that happen, and it never happened for me. I just had other doubts as well, a lot of questions that I wasn't finding good answers for in the church environment that I was raised in and that I was still a part of. And that eventually led to a lot of anger and hurt, especially when those questions and those feelings were not met in a satisfactory way. So it just sort of led to me becoming disillusioned with the church, and I was not involved in the church at all for about 8 years, and I would say I was not religious at that time. So from about the end of college, slightly after, up until about 2023, was not involved with the church.
And so why did you ask me to, if you could try the collective?
Yeah, well, I had never been involved in a progressive church that affirmed who I was in my entirety. I had been, I guess a lot happened in that 8 years. I had moved different places, and I had started to heal some of that hurt and that resentment over the years. And I was looking for something where I could be, so I moved to Atlanta in summer of 2023, so we actually moved here at a similar time. And one of the goals when I moved here was I want to become involved in some way of giving back to people, and I had actually started to think like maybe that could even be a church. Maybe I could find a church that's progressive and accepting. And so I met Michael just through Run Club, and then I had asked him, I was very upfront with the fact that I am not like a picture perfect Christian. Like I don't necessarily believe everything like 100% like exactly as, I was taught to believe growing up, and I was just kind of upfront about that. And I said, I want to be clear about that. I also want to be involved in service, and I also wanted to support, my friend and kind of see what, it was clearly something that meant a lot to him, and wanted to see what that was about. So, I asked if, we'd be welcome to join, which of course we were, but, we still just wanted to kind of, I didn't know if he wanted his friends coming at the time, or if it was more of a like, this is a work thing, and I don't really want to mix like my personal life and my work life. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I was coming from.
And so fast forward, so David shows up first worship service, and now he is a member of our church. He is here most times, right? Has volunteers with the church, all sorts of things. And so I'd just love to know what's one way the collective has made a difference in your life?
It's made a difference in several ways. I mean, I met my fiance here actually the first time I showed up, which was, I don't think either of us was expecting to meet our partner at church that day, but kind of worked out. But that's one thing. I also have met tons of wonderful people, and I feel like I have a real community here of people that I can come to with, anything I need, or it's also just a good social community. Like I have people to talk to. I also have been able to become involved in community service, and that's something I had wanted to do for a long time. And that 8 years after, me leaving the church, I had not really done a lot to give back. And I was feeling that sort of void in my life of like, I just kind of do things like, I mean, I was in grad school and doing all these things. I was busy, but I felt like I don't really do anything for anyone outside of myself. And I feel like now, as part of the collective, I'm able to give back in many ways. Like we went recently to Central Presbyterian and helped serve breakfast there, and all these other activities. And those are not just good for other people. I think they actually benefit us. Like when we are able to give back, I think it really helps us as people, and it fills something that we need, you know, deep down. So yeah, the collective's been great. I've gotten a lot out of it, and I've enjoyed meeting all of you.
All right, let's give it up for David.